the tour is called the Legends Tour, and I want to ask you first things first. How does it feel like getting to that legendary status? Something that you worked for your whole career and you've had it for a long time now, but just imagine like just starting out and you remember being like, I want to be a legend like Eddie, I want to be a legend like Richard, and to actually achieve it.
You know what? It just sort of happens, man, because when you work, you're just doing something you love, and then next thing you know, you got a few things that people are loving, and it becomes something else. So it's great, man. It's a really good thing. Yeah, I grew up watching Eddie and Richard and Richard Pryor, Eddie Murphy, and those guys just inspired me. And I saw that it could be done. You know, you can go from stand up and then become an actor, and yeah, man, and make a living at it, and then also having fun, and then having and people watching and enjoying it too. So
Correct, correct. And not only that, man, becoming a legend, I would say in two sports, like an athlete, man, you became a legend in two sports in stand-up and in acting, and not just in comedic acting, but actual serious acting. So how does that feel just be to make it to that point, to be able to have so many accomplishments and become a legend on in film and in comedy and in stand-up?
it feels great, man. It feels great. You know, like I said, watching Richard Pryor and Eddie really open up as a kid, just open up my eyes to reach for the stars, man. Those guys did it better than anybody. And I knew it was possible. And yeah, to do both is really a blessing, man, because like, you got a strike going on right now, but still, I can get on the road and still be working, being creative and still using my mind and my comedy muscle. So that's a blessing because that gets me ready for all the movies. My stand up, is the reason why the Fridays and the rush hours are what they were because I was in that comedy club working for years, and then did Def Jam, and then also, and then went from that to to the movies. So it's great.
Right. And then now being a legend, how do you did you ever picture your career at this late in his career to be still doing stand-up? Like even just doing massive tours like this?
Yeah, I always said that I would do both, and both of them will work hand in hand. When I first started off, the movies and the acting kind of took over a little bit more because it's so time consuming when you're working. But now, I said I'll never stop doing stand up again because it's just something, it's just something that you can't in movies. You got to play in a character, you got to play in a role, you got to play a role, but on stand up, I'm me and it's real life. So it's nothing better than that. So it's awesome.
Now with stand-up, just in your career in general, man, you've seen a lot and if you've experienced a lot of great experience with people that are no longer with us, like a Michael Jackson, like so many people that are so iconic to this culture that you actually got to spend time with, actually got to be around, actually got to perform in front of, actually got advice from, etc., etc. So I want to ask you now, when you go out and go to these arenas and perform in front of all these people and them looking at you and being in such awe and whatnot, does it ever like, do you ever feel sentimental knowing that, these people that you became friends with, these legends or these people that you became friends with aren't able to still be here to enjoy the experience with you?
I feel blessed, man, to have known so many greats, man, and they befriended me. Michael Jackson, Mr. Sidney Poitier, Mr. Belafonte, Harry Belafonte, and Cicely Tyson. I bumped into these people when they were here and told them how much I loved them and gave them their flowers while they were here, and then got advice from them and wisdom from them. So, I'm glad I was able to do that. I would feel bad if I didn't sit down with them and hang out with them and talk with them, go to lunch with them. And, Quincy Jones, he's still here, thank God. But so many greats that I kind of picked their brains and spent time with them and told them I love them, and so I feel good about that. So, yeah, I'm glad I didn't miss those opportunities before they got up in age or, they're no longer with us.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you are just as important in comedy as you are in hip hop. So you got a long history with hip hop. But something I want to ask you about is recently the news hit that we are hip hop is honoring people that they feel are well deserving of this honor of receiving $500,000 in health benefits. Like we got Scarface and Rakim are the first two recipients of it by Nas. But I wanted to ask you, being in comedy for as long as you have been, like, do you feel like comedy deserves that type of award or acknowledgement for some of their some comedians that didn't get the proper respect that you feel they should have gotten, or didn't get that legendary title that they feel they should have gotten?
Yeah, I think so, man. I think that's a great idea. So many great comics out there that definitely need to be rewarded and man celebrated because yeah, man, it's them guys, it's women and guys, man, just great out there that need to be rewarded like that. That's a great idea. I thought that's pretty cool that they're doing that.
Sure. Now, you have, it's called the Legendary Tour. So I want to ask you about some legendary advice that you would give to up and coming talent or up and coming comedians, whether they want to pursue it as just stand up or pursue it as comedic acting.
You know what? You got to keep growing, always keep growing, and oh man, I would say put God first because he'll give you creativity. He'll open those doors for you. Because I started as a young guy, young kid, and just knowing what I knew at that age. But now I'm a man, and those just you got to make choices and decisions to get you to where you want creatively, where you want to be creatively.
Now, how do you know when you become a legend? Obviously, you didn't plan this early on. You didn't know when you were going to achieve that status, but you ended up achieving it. So, for people that are up and coming as well, when do you think, or when do you become or how do you know you became a legend?
You don't know. People start saying it to you. Young people like, younger people say, "Hey, man, you a legend." You be like, "Well, first I thought they was trying to say I was old or something." I'm like, "Wait a minute, I'm still young." And then I just accepted it, because people really, it's like when the way I looked up to Eddie and Richard, people are looking up to me and other comedians in my era. So it's just a blessing, man. But you know what? That just encourages you to keep going and to keep trying to reach those levels that Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor reached all those years.
Yeah. Now, you're doing this massive tour. So I want to ask you, how do you keep the content fresh, man? Because, as a comedian, it's even in social media now, it's like if you do something that people have heard before, they'll be like, oh, he did that a long time ago. Or if you do something mess up, you go viral or whatnot. But how do you stay fresh when you're on stage doing stand-up now?
It's a constant, it keeps evolving. It's constant evolution, man, in your stand up, and yeah, you just keep working at it and stuff happens every day. And once you're in the groove of things, it's like, it gets easier, and it's like riding a bike and you just have fun with it. But it's when you're pro, you know how to do it, and you just do it. You just do it.
Now, it's called the Legends Tour. Now you doing the tour this massive. We gotta ask, do you plan on turning this Legend Tour into a Netflix special and following up your previous Netflix special?
Well,
Or
you know what? It's
Netflix.
probably
It don't even have to be Netflix. It could be Amazon, anywhere.
Yeah, I might turn it into a movie. It's evolving now, but I'm probably gonna do a movie, and make it a movie, and then wherever it goes from there, we'll see. Because I got some great stuff I'm thinking about. Showing in this show more than just a stand up. It's probably it's gonna be pretty good. So I can't wait for people to see it. So it's gonna be awesome.
Now, how's it feel still being in high demand and a much anticipated actor in our generation, pretty much still? Like, you've been doing this for a long time, and it's like now, even more now than ever, we still want to see you on the big screen. We still want to see you in these leading roles. We still want to see you do all these franchises and whatnot. So how does it feel?
It's a blessing, man, to be still out here. People still want to see me do stuff. It's a blessing, and I got more to give. It's just, and I feel the same way. I feel like I'm just now starting. People just now gonna see the next level of me. So I'm excited. I'm glad I'm still excited about it. Still, love going to doing my shows, stand up, doing movie roles. So yeah, man, the best is definitely yet to come. It's definitely still coming.
Now you also starting the Texas run this week. You got Dallas tomorrow, and you got Houston the following day. But I want to ask you, what are your memories? Do you have memories of coming to Texas on the road and performing for Texas crowds, and especially Dallas crowds for sure?
Man, you guys in Texas and Dallas and Houston and San Antonio love to laugh, love to have fun. And, I'm always thinking about when I get here. I grew up watching the show Dallas. My dad used to watch it all the time and make us sit down and watch it with him because we was like, we wanted to watch something else. And we got hooked on watching that show, man. And J.R. Ewing and Bobby Ewing, all that stuff. Me watching great, art shows and stuff like that. Scarface movies, Beverly Hills Cop made me who I am, man. So I think about that, and I think about Dallas Cowboys, of course. Y'all stole Deion Sanders from us, Atlanta, the Atlanta Falcons, where I'm from. But I think about that. But far as the shows, I think great laughter, great down home people. So it's gonna be a lot of fun tomorrow night, man.
And you can't forget the food.
Oh, the food is great, man. I can't wait to. I'm about to chop on something in a minute, man. So yeah,
For
that
sure,
good Texas food.
for sure, for sure. I want to ask you, man, how's your mental health been going into this tour?
It's great, man. I make sure I take good vacations before I get out on the road because I want to make sure, I want to have all those good memories in my head of having fun. But when it's time to work, it's time to work, and the dopamines get to going, and all the good fun stuff. The challenges, all of it is good for me because I'm used to it as coming from Def Jam, trying to get out of the pack of all the other comedians. I got out of the pack, by working hard and in the clubs and being ready for, my shot. And then when I did Fridays, worked hard, got out of the pack and did, a hit movie, made it a classic. And of course, Rush Hour, same thing, and all Dead Presidents, all the other ones. So this is, just another challenge that I love, and I loved it because it only is gonna it only brings the best out of me. So it's great.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that about these movies, man. Because I want to ask you, I've been wanting to ask you this forever. If you had a chance to change the outcome of any character that you have played in a movie role, what would it be? I'm only asking that because you gave us so many classic characters. Like you said in Dead Presidents, like people
Yeah.
saw the way you went out, and we was like, I don't like that at all. Or it was like, dang, I knew he was. All right, it was like that. Or like with Rush Hour, obviously you guys still have continuations for that, but
Yeah.
just everything. Even House Party 3, you probably didn't even like how you went out, like just going in that one scene or whatnot. But I
Oh
mean,
no, you know what? I can't. I wouldn't change any of it. I love, like I watched. I was watching. I just happened to be watching Dead Presidents last night. It was on TV, and I was like, man, that was cold blooded. How Skippy went out. He was. That was his character. And he went out like he went out in the movie, and that makes people remember and it make them feel for that character. So every role that I played, I worked with some great directors from David O. Russell, Quentin Tarantino, Luc Besson, Brad Ratner, all these great Gary Gray, the Hughes brothers, so many great directors. Ben Affleck, I just did a movie Air with Ben Affleck, he directed that. These guys, they know what they're doing. I've been blessed to work with great directors, and so I trusted them. And in the role that I play, I make sure that I play it to the best of my abilities for sure.
whether you're on there for a minute or for a whole movie, you've always managed to build these characters, take them from that page and give them like just classic, give us just classic characters. So I want to ask you like the best advice you would give somebody
Thank you.
that is doing the same thing, that looks at your film discography and be like, yo, like how did he, even though like for example, for like Jackie Brown, you were only in there for like a good 10 minutes, but you made it to where everybody remembers your character, everybody remembers your lines. In other movies, everybody remembers your one-liners and whatnot. So what is it that you go into it and you be like, all right, bet. I got my script. I know what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna make sure this is gonna be one of the most impactful performances that makes me so unforgettable?
Try to make it, make it your own, don't try to make it your own, make it your own, do the research, do the work, and then it'll come out, it'll come out right, and you have a great team around you. Hopefully you got a great director and great other actors that'll bring out, things out of you. But yeah, definitely, uh, just make it your own. I will always try to make stuff my own and make it a little bit more than what's on the page, and try to make it special. Try to make it as great as I can.
Yeah. Now, what part of your ATL roots has to do with making Chris Tucker into the legend that he is now?
All of it, man. My family, my upbringing, in the church, my mom's making us go to church all the time. My dad, whooping our butts, making us go to work with him. My family, I'm the youngest of 6 kids. So we always had something going on around the house, a lot of fun. People used to come down to our house because we had so much fun. So we didn't even know we were funny and all that stuff. We were just being ourselves, and people just loved to be around us, loved to laugh. So all my family, man, I gotta say that really mold me, shape me. The church, my spirituality, friends, family, all that stuff, comes together and makes me who I am today.
No. Now, you got the legendary tour, and do you plan on doing more big massive tours like this? As long as people, yeah, obviously it's under Live Nation, so I know they're gonna have you working for for a very long time, as long as you keep being Chris Tucker and keep packing the house. But do you continue plan on to continue doing more massive tours like this on a regular basis?
Definitely. I'm already planning on next year to come back to each city and do it again. So yeah, I'm never gonna stop. Never gonna stop doing stand up. Never gonna stop, acting. Getting trying to get great roles, good movie roles, and yeah, just keep at it, man. And then other stuff too. Producing, directing one day. So yeah, man, we're just gonna have some fun with it.
Yeah. And then lastly, I want to tell you, I have a twin brother. His name is Tyson Paul, and he's a comic and been doing comedy for about 20, I would say almost 20 years now, since he started in college. And he learned that not everybody's road in comedy is the same. So I want to ask you something as far as giving him an advice, or that could work for other comics also in the same spot. Like, what's some advice that you would give as far as comics finding their way and continuing to do this for forever, I guess, because it's obviously a passion that they love, just like you did, that keeps you still wanting to do this even to this day. So what is some advice that you would give to those that are still trying to find their way, no matter how long it takes?
Yeah, well, try to learn the business at the same time, being funny, because that's going to sustain you, because he might have a strength in writing funny material. So, or producing something, or bringing people together, or directing. So just don't think about just stand-up comedy. Think of directing, producing, writing. It's so many things you could do. Man, acting, you might be a better actor than a comedian. So everybody got their strengths, and so yeah, man, just don't think out of the box, and do everything that's surrounding stand up, and that'll keep him surviving and keep him going.
Yeah. And then lastly, I want to thank you for not only just being a legend, but for being a role model, for showing so many Black kids from urban communities like myself that anything is possible. Watching you on this big screen when we were growing up, like watching you do everything, all these amazing things that you did, it was like it showed us anything was possible. Obviously, I just want to thank you for just being one of the legends, obviously, in comedy, just and continuing to be one, and continuing to forge a path for yourself as far as in comedy and life and in stand-up that we all get to witness and admire.
Man, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Thank you very much, man. Bryson, right?
Yes,
Bryson.
sir. Yes, sir.
Bryson.
Yep.
Thank you, Bryson, man. Thank you. I appreciate that. It mean a lot to me, man. God bless you. Thank you, bro.